Hello Twin Flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Today we mark the start of the Mercury retrograde, and that's why I decided to do a reading that's a little bit more focused on that. We will get guidance from the Ascended Master for this Mercury retrograde, what is its spiritual purpose for the twins, what can be accomplished, what is the advice, right? What is it that you can put your energy into to make this the most beneficial time for yourself. And then we'll switch to tarot, so there will be two main questions. I got two decks today. First is going to tell us what's going on with the twins, with each of the twins right now. The second one will tell us how Mercury retrograde is impacting, what's going on there. And then of course we'll get some messages between the twins. It's Mercury retrograde, but we're still talking, right? There are different ways of communication, and yeah, we haven't done this card for a couple of days, so I thought it's time. So let's get a card for Divine Feminine first of all, with some guidance from the Keepers of the Light. That's the name of this deck. By the way, just a reminder that I do accept donations. I don't actually have it on my website yet. I need to set it up. It's a good point. But I definitely do have it. You can do it through PayPal or Venmo, and there is an Amazon wishlist link in my description box, so you can check that out if you wish to just to contribute to the channel, because all the donations are going into the channel development. Yeah, maybe just say thank you for appreciating these readings. If you do, that would be lovely actually. Okay, so Divine Feminine has charity, prayer, and contemplation. Very feminine figure here. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Prayer and contemplation, but mark that this is both 5D and 4D space in this case, right? This is not just the prayer, this is also contemplation, which means this is the layer where you assess and embrace that information, right? Where it actually gets implemented within your conscious space, right? So it's important to connect, to ask questions if you need some guidance at this point, but also to be able to add your own knowledge, experience, and way of thinking to the information that you get. Okay, let's see what we have for the masculines. I had so much fun exploring New York this week, and yeah, I haven't been out and about for a while, so it was pretty cool to do that. It was a friend of mine who was visiting, and we had a couple of cultural nights. Went to the opera on Tuesday night, and then we went to Carnegie Hall for a string orchestra performance last night, so that was pretty cool. What do we have for Divine Masculine as a guidance? Mahavatar Babaji. Soul expansion. Your consciousness is expanding. You understand the connections between all things. Beautiful. And this is a beautiful masculine figure, right? So this is not about gender, by the way. Reminder, take gender how it resonates for you. We're talking about energies. But yeah, for Divine Masculines, their consciousness is expanding, and they are, how do I explain it? I'm getting this image, but I'm trying to put the words into it. It's like when you accept that new knowledge, when you surrender to the new knowledge, like the same way as you should be receptive to love, to receive that love, right? In a similar way, you should be receptive to knowledge and that new consciousness. And Divine Masculines are receptive. So they are a lot more open and a lot more accepting of variety of information, and breaking the status quo situation and their belief system. Just huge. Okay, let's move into tarot. Let's see what's going on with the twins right now. Let's see what we have for Divine Feminine energy right now. And then the second question will be about Mercury retrograde. So what do we need to know? Wow, death. Can you please clarify? Thank you. Wow. Yep. Of course. That's okay. Two of Wands. And here we have Tower and Ten of Wands. That's interesting. So the transformation is happening through a number of, in a number of different ways for Divine Feminine these days. And yes, we have a few important planetary transits happening. So this is actually very fitting that this is like the time of another sort of integration of new energies, right? And on the 3D level, it's happening in several ways, right? So how is it achieved? It's achieved through taking Divine Feminines out of their comfort zone, bringing in something unexpected, right? Seeing how you deal with it. And with time, you're learning to deal with it in a more healthy way and welcome those experiences and learn from them. The second way is by removing things that do not serve. And I know we talk about it a lot, but it is a real thing. And yes, it has to be happening over and over and over again, because there are different attachments that we experience in our karmic lives on many different levels. Starting with things and objects, ending with habits and people and relationships, etc., and belief system, of course, as well, right? And it may not be as obvious at first, but it is like every single bit of it counts, right? Both ways. When it's around you and it's attached to you, it's taking your energy. When you free yourself up from it, even if it's small, I don't know, maybe you had, anyway, this is even more about fears. I was thinking about some addictions, but this is even more about fears and pain. But anyway, if you free yourself up even a little bit, then you open up yourself to that space, to that energy to be filled with something beautiful, right? So it's important to keep removing those. I'm getting this image of like either the rotten roots of a plant, or even like the foundation of a house plant that kind of outlived its lifetime. It needs to be replaced from time to time. It's a good idea, especially for some of the plants. So it's kind of like that, it's like a renewal process. It's something that's very natural and that plants and animals actually go through. And people do as well, if we think about it in many ways, right? But this is a bit more on the mental level, of course, but that renewal needs to happen as well. And last but not least, it's making more conscious choices in our life. And yes, I know it sounds a little weird because when we make choices, we think every time that it is conscious, but it's not. And I can break it down in any and every situation that you can think of. But yeah, it's important to be able to exercise that choice of yours, the free will, to be able to see the options and be able to choose wisely. So those are the ways that transformation is happening for the M's. What do we have happening for the M's? Strength and Two of Pentacles. Yeah, so I'm getting here that divine masculines are also kind of, when we saw that expansion of consciousness, right? So divine masculines are starting a new project, I want to say, but it's like they're building. I'm hearing this word, they're building something. They are starting to build something important. And yes, when you start to build something, you start with foundation. It's a little bit boring. Maybe when you have to like dig down the soil, right? Like the underground, maybe like set things up. But it may not be as obvious yet to the untrained eye of what that is, but it's a very important foundation in terms of mental and emotional space. And strengths actually, if you dig deeper, it's quite a masculine energy. Not just because men are strong, no. Just in its sense of the card, of the energy of the card, and energy behind it. It's connected to the sacral chakra. And in some decks, it's actually, this card is interpreted as sexual energy or sexual drive. So, and sacral chakra is a masculine chakra in its nature. So there is that raw masculinity that's driving divine masculines into building something of a solid foundation. But you see that there is still like B. The other side of it is they are implementing it with the feminine energy in mind, in their heart, right? So it's a lot more balanced and a lot more, how would I put it, scalable, right? Like if we build, I am from IT world, so if we build a software program, right, these days it's important that its architecture is done in a way that it's scalable, that is performant, that it's, it can stand all kinds of challenges. And that's what divine masculines are doing now. So it's not just like, okay, let's quickly do something so it looks nice or I can impress somebody. No, this is like thinking strategically ahead. I want whatever that something is, and by that something, in a lot of cases, means life in general. I want to build this is the new phase of my life. And I want to build it so it's scalable, it's reliable, it's performant, and I don't have to start building from scratch over and over again every time there's a storm, right? Like that kind of idea in mind. Very interesting. Okay, now let's see what Mercury retrograde is doing for the twins in this cycle. It's gonna last a few weeks, as always. I think it's like 3 weeks. So what's the impact on divine feminines? What can be the benefit from it for divine feminine collective watching? Benefits of this Mercury retrograde. What can we learn? What can we achieve during this time with this energies in mind and at heart? And by the way, if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like the reading, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, share it with other people who may be interested. I didn't do all the readings that I was going to yet, but I will spend time this weekend on the January readings, and I will do an outlook for 2023. I'm not sure whether I'm going to do by zodiac sign or something more generic, but we'll definitely look into it. So watch out for those on my channel. So we have Knight of Cups and Four of Cups. Yeah, so new opportunity in love appears. Wow, this is beautiful. So this time, and a quick reminder that Mercury retrograde is about introspection when it comes to communication and understanding yourself, right? It's like, how do I build communication? What does it mean when I do this or I say this? Why do I say that, right? Like, for example, if I'm meeting someone new, right? Like this is definitely a love topic here. Meeting someone new and everything goes well for a couple of weeks, and then it just goes downhill from there. And I actually understand my patterns, what I do or what I say, kind of sabotaging it. Now it may be the time to understand why, like what is behind it. How can I turn things around? Four of Cups is about missed opportunity, especially in this deck, because you can see that rainbow that's being poured into the cup, but the girl is looking the other way. So that's one side of it. Another side of it is do not miss the new opportunity coming. It may come during Mercury retrograde, it may come after. It's likely going to come in after you acknowledge those patterns in communication that present a certain struggle to yourself and cause sabotage in the relationship. So the more, like the quicker you actually get to the bottom of it, the faster that new love is going to come in, right? And I'm not saying this is divine masculine necessarily. This could be a soulmate, right? It could be a karmic partner, but somebody important, right? Like this isn't even a page, this is a Knight of Cups, right? It's someone with an important message, an important lesson, or maybe it's just someone whose energy is needed for your journey right now, right? I do talk to clients from time to time who think that it's either they're divine masculine or nobody, like they're not even considering anybody else, or they're thinking that it's a test that they are not supposed to go for it. But it's not true really, and if anything, we're not supposed to be in a waiting energy for our twins anyway. If you wish, you can say that is a test, right? Are you still waiting? And with understanding in mind that it may take years for you to get into union, right? We don't know what's going to happen. And actually, the more you're in the waiting energy, the more you're delaying the union moment. right? So it's important to live your life, you know, for yourself, by yourself, and connecting with people who are ready to be in commitment with you, to give their love, their energy, their attention, right? If it's not your DM right now, let them go, let them deal with their stuff. But if there are other people around you that are ready to do that, why not? If you can create a healthy relationship with that person, why not? And there's a good chance that both of you need that connection. Even if it's only gonna last a few weeks, a few months, a few years. It can be a beautiful experience for both of you, right? So why waste it? This is a big one, right? To not miss the opportunities when they come in. Be able to tell that it's a chance of a healthy relationship and built in a new way. You see, this is a bit of a sync with what we saw for Divine Masculines. But for Divine Feminines, it's also interesting because with the transformation, right, this is like one of those ways to implement this new energy, this new knowledge. Because you will be, and if you don't know where to look for answers or what to change in your behavior, ask questions. Ask and you shall receive. But it's important that you do ask and you do realize, that you do that analysis, that you do realize what is happening. So you can avoid making the same mistakes and going through the same pain and collecting that burden that you'll have to heal and work through afterwards. What do we have for the masculines? It's getting a little longer than I thought, but somebody needed to hear that. Hopefully it's going to be helpful, guys. What do we have for Divine Masculines? What's the importance of this Mercury retrograde for Divine Masculines? What can they learn? What can they achieve? Wow, Sun in reverse. Yeah, woo, for once. There you go, baby. So if you're wondering if your DM is on track, this is a big fat yes. They are on track. They are moving to union, first of all. And remember I just told you about building a foundation? I mean, come on, Four of Wands, if anything, the generic meaning of Four of Wands is building a strong foundation, right? That's the 4 wands that you have, that you need to kind of build a structure around those. And it's about long-term commitment, right? Four of Wands is not necessarily just twin flame union, right? It can be commitment of different kind. But that's the key thing. And look at that, the Sun is in reverse. That's very interesting, actually. But what I'm getting here is that Divine Masculines understand that this building this foundation will take some perseverance and stamina. And it may not just be fun and joyful all the time. And that's the choice they've made many times before that was actually misleading in the end. So they tried the philosophy for a while to just enjoy themselves and have some fun with life, with people around them, with everything. But now they understand that they aren't gonna get that solid, scalable foundation if they're just gonna approach it like that. It needs to be deeper, right? So this energy gets more internalized. And again, Mercury retrograde is asking, hence the impact of Mercury retrograde, is asking DMs to take that energy. You can, if you're like, imagine that it's a big ball of fire, of energy, right? That sunny energy. And take it in and use it internally to, as a manifesting power, as an inspiration to create something beautiful, not just to kind of like scatter it around and, you know, light up the hearts of people for a little bit, but, you know, it's gonna go out quickly and it's gonna be mostly a waste, right? But it can be used for something beautiful, something amazing, and that's the key. That's the secret sauce. And that's what they're discovering in this Mercury retrograde. As they go more introspective, right? As there's less going on outwardly to distract them, to take their attention, right? Where they have to just act quickly, to just solve the problem on the spot, right? That's also a very masculine approach. Like, I see the problem, I solve it. I see it, I solve it. I see it, I solve it. It may not always be the best way, but at least I deal with it quickly, right? Like, yes, mission accomplished. But this is the part where it's not about the speed, right? It's about building something of high quality. Okay, messages between the twins. Messages from Divine Masculines to Feminines at this time. What would masculines like to share with the Divine Feminines watching? Okay, we'll take this. Please give me time. I never felt this way before. You make my heart full. Wow. I'm too afraid to talk. There's Mercury retrograde for you. Yeah, there may not be a lot of talking during this time, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes for feminines watching. And like I said, the masculines are like collecting that energy, embracing it to build something beautiful. Messages from feminines to masculines. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, this is a little scary, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Oh, of course, of course. So the cards on the floor were, I don't want to lose you, and I would do anything for you. Sounds a little bit codependent, so just be careful with it. And it also says, love me and I'm in so much pain. Yeah, so there's a bit of, I'm guessing that's part of that death and rebirth transformation, where you may have those catharsis moments where pain may come up from previous experiences, conversations, could be from experience with divine masculine, could be other relationships in your life, but it may bring up some painful moments and get you to be in that energy of codependency or wanting to cling to someone, right? So just be careful with that. And for masculines cross-watching, yeah, your feminine is also going through a lot of stuff right now, and if they're not as cheerful or friendly or forthcoming as they usually are, don't take it personally. It's just because there's a lot going on there. But being divine feminines, it's important to get back into balance, to ask questions. If you can't do it for yourself, ask for help, ask somebody else for help if needed, right? But get yourself into that balance point and use these experiences that are coming up to learn those lessons, to spot the patterns, to be able to heal it for yourself, because you saw there was that new love coming in. And yeah, it's gonna be so much, it's gonna be like a much more loving and rewarding experience if you manage to deal with this energy, to prepare for it, to set that foundation. Well, like your DM is doing. Okay, thanks very much for joining me today, guys. I hope this was good for you, and I'll be back with Meridians very, very soon. Bye, everyone.